like glowing. If you're getting them, I'm getting them.
Hi, hello, and welcome to the Bookish Life.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Tori. And in today's episode, we're going to talk all about romantasy, aka fantasy romance.
I'm very excited because I feel like December and winter are very like fantasy seasons for myself, at least in my reading. So I can't wait to chat.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I read more fantasy romance than you, but it's fine.
Yes. I don't have time. I don't know how you find the time to read all these books that I want to read. Like, what am I spending my time reading? We already talked about that in the last episode, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, like, a lot of times they're very, very long or they're very, very hyped. And then I get nervous and I just don't read it. And they're parts of series.
That's true. And I find it interesting. Your sister actually reads a lot of romantasy, or
It's all she reads. Yes, it's all she reads.
And she only reads things that are rated 4.0 or higher on Goodreads.
Yes, she does. And so on the Goodreads Choice Awards, I think I had read 1, maybe 2 on that list. She had read like at least half of them.
That's hilarious.
Like, where are you finding these books?
I do find it interesting though. Like, we're going to talk about some of our favorite like romantasies and stuff like that. But I want to talk about how now there's a romantasy category on Goodreads.
There is. And I'm conflicted how I feel about that. But were you excited?
I mean, I've said this before. It's kind of like, it's okay. Listen, my husband loves fantasy books. He's a hardcore, like Brandon Sanderson.
What do you call him?
He's a fantasy bro.
Yeah.
I call him a fantasy bro. And I can call him that because he is one. Now, I call him that. But I say like the fantasy bros, like in general, people like Brandon, they get mad when like a fantasy romance is in the fantasy category. It is fantasy, but it's heavier on the romance.
Yes. And I think romantasy wins every single year. So that just proves it's more popular than any of their other fantasies out there. Because I think Sarah J. Maas always wins when she's on there.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth Wing was going to blow out everything out of the water, no matter what category it was in. So I think they knew it was going to sweep the fantasy category. So they're like, let's just appease the fantasy readers who don't count romantasy as real fantasy. And they get mad. And yeah. I can't do like high fantasy. It's just like, I don't enjoy it. I need my romance.
No, okay. So I'll say this. Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas is technically a romantasy. But I personally think that is more fantasy. That is probably the most fantasy book she's ever written.
It's more urban fantasy, yes.
Yeah, but it's like the romance is barely there. And I personally think that should be in the fantasy category. But I have a feeling, well, they didn't have the romantasy category when this book came out. But I wonder if Crescent City 3 is going to be in the romantasy or the fantasy category. Because in Barnes & Noble, but in Barnes & Noble, her stuff is in the fantasy and sci-fi stuff. Okay?
That's what all of them are, though, aren't they?
No. JLA, that's always in romance.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I love Crescent City for the romance over the fantasy plot, but
that is super. It's really fantasy heavy, and I don't mind it. But maybe because it's Sarah J. Maas, I don't know. But I read like Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, and that's actually, I would consider that a romantasy. It has the actual decently heavy romance, but
I haven't read that one yet.
But that stays in the fantasy category. Is it because it's written by Brandon Sanderson?
Well, yes. I think any fantasy written by a woman is automatically going to be judged. And I think that's why a lot of authors also write with their initials. I forget, like City of Brass, V.E. Schwab, City of Brass. I forget her initials, but she wrote that. I don't remember the title of the series either, but that's a woman, but she wrote with her initials. And I'm assuming it's because women are definitely judged a lot more in the fantasy genre than men are because of those fantasy bros.
It's so annoying. It is very annoying to me.
Yeah. And like, I read The Way of Kings and I was like, this book is so boring, but I read Mistborn. They're both by Brandon Sanderson and I loved Mistborn. So I think like I just need more of the emotional plot to like a fantasy.
Yeah. But also, how do I say this? My fantasy bro husband read Way of Kings. He read the whole Stormlight Archive series that's out so far. and he thought Way of Kings was boring. And he thought, we were talking about it when you were here, that he thought it was too much and too boring. So, I mean, I guess it depends, but also it's the same thing with like historical fiction. I read the historical fiction books that have a decently heavy romance subplot, but it's not considered historical romance.
And see, when I read historical romance, I get bored if it's too heavy on the historical. Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah. But yeah, so we read for the romance.
Yeah, obviously. So that's why, like, I'm also conflicted. Like, I love that there's a romantasy category, but I hate it for the reasons why there is one.
But I mean, like, there is one because it's such a hot selling genre. I mean, it's literally more popular than the fantasy books on the fantasy list because the romantasy always wins. But also, so it deserves its own category, but not for the reason it did, like you said.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating.
So I will say, outside of Sarah J. Maas and like any of her series, because we're not counting that, because we both love, well, you haven't read Throne of Glass, so I don't know if you would consider yourself like a real Sarah J. Maas fan or not. I mean,
excuse me.
I'm very sassy today. Holy shit, that just came out of nowhere.
I'm pretty sure I read Sarah J. Maas before you even did. I was reading her when there were only 2 books out in the ACOTAR series. I've met her 3 times.
Okay, so but have you read Throne of Glass? Have you read Throne of Glass?
But I've read everything else.
I personally, before the next Crescent City book comes out, I think that you need to finish Throne of Glass.
I literally have to reread book 1 and then read the rest. There's like 700-page books in that series.
I know.
I'm looking at, and I have the original covers too, though I wanted to find paperbacks when we went shopping on Saturday because I want to read those and I don't want to touch my first editions because
fair enough.
They're too special. So don't let me forget to look for those, like at Half Price Books.
Okay.
But how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4,
7.
You want me to read 7 books and Crescent City 1 and 2 before January 31st?
Yeah. I think we could. I read Throne of Glass in a week.
The whole series?
You could take it like the day or the week after Christmas, like cut back on a little bit of work, like just like take a little bit of a break because I feel like a lot of people do. Like I'm planning on doing that and just read.
This is our first Christmas self-employed. So like we make our own hours. I mean, we have clients and have to get work done, but like we decide how much and how little we work to get things done. And I will see how much time we spend. Like normally as a teacher, I got 2 whole weeks off. So I was reading like crazy those last 2 weeks of the year. But I don't know. We'll see. Are there any romantasy on your TBR for the rest of the year?
Oh, I don't know about for the rest of the year, but I did talk about this in my monthly like reset for December. Did you watch that yet?
Yeah, I watched it when you sent it to me early.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I totally forgot I sent it to you early. Yeah. I have a V. Schwab book, The Fragile
the one I got my sister for Christmas.
Yeah. I want to read The Hurricane Wars. I want to read The Carrie Maniscalco, but I think I might put some on my December, like read in December, maybe 1, and then put some for January. But I do want to read Crescent City 1 in December so I can keep up with our read along.
Yes.
I do have the new Stephanie Garber series. I say new, but like the Once Upon a Broken Heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except Jess from Honest Fiction, who is a huge romantasy reader. Holy shit, she's a huge romantasy reader. She said that the 3rd book kind of let her down.
Really?
I watched her wrap up and I skipped it, but I only heard like the beginning because I didn't want her. Yeah. I didn't want to know anything, but she said it let her down. Yeah.
Oh no.
It made me sad.
I really want to read that. I have all 3 books in the series, even though I haven't. What?
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
An Instagram photo. Oh my God.
Yeah. I pre-ordered the 3rd one. Do you need a copy of the 3rd one? Because I have 2.
I'll probably take it home with me because I wanted them.
I pre-ordered it twice and I hadn't even started the series yet.
When I see you tomorrow, I am going to like raid your library. I hope you know that.
I do need to do like an unhaul clean out of my library. So
I will help you take down books and like unhaul them, and then you can film, and then I can say which ones I want to take with me, and then the rest we can like give away.
Okay. I mean, I usually donate to my library, but
that's what I meant. Yeah. What else is on my TBR?
I mean, we're going to have some recs in a second, but we're just talking about what's on our TBR right now. So I loved The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Never got to book 2 yet. But I loved book 1. I think I read it like this. I read it right before I left to visit you last year in December.
Yeah, because I waited to read book 1 until this year because I had a feeling it was going to be like one of my favorites, and it is. Yeah. But that was one of my first books I read in 2023.
So good. Yeah.
You know, I know you had like a Romantasy vlog planned. Do like Romantasy books you have to fucking finish.
What does that mean?
Like, don't do
like
new
series.
Don't. Okay, the Crowns of Nyaxia. That's just a duet. You get their HEA in the second book.
Okay.
So read that book.
Okay.
What other fucking book do you have to read? The new JLA book. You have to read the next in that series.
Okay. I don't know how many I'm behind in that one.
You have to say, I think you're like 2 or 3 behind.
I never finished the, oh my gosh, what is it called? Danielle Jensen?
The Bridge Kingdom?
Yeah, I only read the first one.
That was one of your favorites.
I'm aware. I loved it.
Oh my God. That's
I have an arc of her new book, though, that I'm really excited for.
I really want to read that book.
It's on NetGalley.
You have to request it, though, right?
Yeah.
Jessa Hastings, totally off topic. Into the Dark, the next one that's coming out.
Is it on NetGalley?
Yeah, I requested it.
Oh my God, I haven't finished that series.
You can't even talk. You haven't even finished that series.
Listen, I love books, and then I'm like, I'm going to love the next one so much. I have to read it when I need it. Oh, and did you see it behind me?
Oh my God, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
What else do you have to read? You haven't even read Belladonna?
Nope. I have it. I own the first 2. I also have Between Wrath and Mercy by Jess Wise Cup.
Oh, I read that one. I like that one.
I know you read it. You've read everything I need to.
Yeah, there's 3 books that you can do for a vlog that you need to like finish, a series you need to finish.
I know, but I really want to read the Goodreads ones.
You can read them next year.
No, nobody will care about it next year.
What books do you have for that?
Carrie Maniscalco.
Okay.
The Hurricane Wars.
Okay.
I don't know where I put them. Oh, they're on my TBR cart because I did my little reset vlog too, and now I have a TBR cart out there. The Jasad Wars.
Oh,
no,
by the gold one.
No, that's not the title though. That's a different one. The gold one, the Sun Trial Queen thing. Yeah, if that's the title.
I'm reading 2 of those 3 books next year. Hurricane Wars and Carrie Maniscalco. I'm saving that for next year.
Well, I want to read it this year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh my God.
I have a bunch of YA ones that I never got around to.
That was going to be my next question. Do you consider YA fantasy romantasy? Because I don't think Belladonna would. I wouldn't consider Belladonna as romantasy.
Because those are also in the YA fantasy category. But like Stephanie Garber, that's technically YA.
Interesting.
And I think... Oh, Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I'm partway through and I'm really, really, really loving it. My sister already finished it and started it like way after I did. That one is technically YA, but I think a lot of them are like 19, 20. Kind of like Sarah J. Maas, where when Sarah J. Maas's books first came out, they were YA. Like the ACOTAR series was marketed as YA. And now, because I think I should look at I have the original hardbacks. I should look and see what the price was because I think they were YA. And now they're adult. And that means instead of $19, they're $30, which is annoying.
Womp womp.
But I just love those books so much. I'm excited to reread Crescent City.
Me too. I see Ninth House on your shelf behind you.
Oh my God, I hated it. Where? Up there? You can't see that?
Yeah.
Oh, you can see that. The camera can't see that.
I can. Sorry.
I DNF'd it. There was like really horrific stuff in the beginning. And I was like, this is too much for me.
I actually read that when I was actually like building my library like 2 years ago.
Did you like it?
I was hella confused. I was like, I feel like I missed something. I was listening to the audio.
Was like 9, right? And she can see ghosts. And a ghost assaults her. On page.
I do remember that.
I was like, she's a child. I don't want to read this. No. And so I stopped.
I was confused by that book. What is... I don't know. Like, Divine Rivals. Would that be considered romantasy? Because it's a fantasy.
But that's YA.
Oh, is it?
Are you reading that this month?
Yes, I'm doing a reading vlog for that.
Okay. I was not a fan of Divine Rivals. Again, with the historical aspect, it was way, way, way too like historical because it was like a war romance and I don't like war, which is what you're saying because I do like, and I felt like Iron Flame didn't have enough war in it. And I like that about Sarah J. Maas's books. I feel like they're a good balance. you know, like big battles and like preparing for battles and like the politics of that stuff. Like sometimes I like it, but then sometimes it gets to be too much. And Divine Rivals was just boring to me and very insta-love.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. I literally gave my copy to Tori. So we'll see if you like it.
Yeah, that's what it's sitting right here. It's on my filming table. I can't think of any other ones that I want to read right off the bat. Like besides a couple.
Did you ever read the Shatter Me series?
No, I tried the audiobook and it was hella weird.
Oh, that's super popular on TikTok right now, but that was really popular like 2 years ago on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I did not. I do have one that Tabitha, she posted about Evergreen, which is a KU fantasy romance or romantasy. It's by Autumn Woods. And the cover, she posted about it because she got an arc of it and it looks so pretty.
That looks like a children's book.
Yes, but it's romantasy. But it reminds me of Jessa Hastings, the way that her covers first reminded us of a child's book. And I was like, what the hell is this? And those books are some of my favorite books of all time. It just looks so good and I want to read it.
Yeah.
But it's 500 something pages. And I'm like, all romantasy is always that
I
long.
never read fantasy. I don't have time.
Listen to the audiobooks.
When I listen to like a 20-hour audiobook, I feel like I'm listening forever.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It just makes it like drag and I don't like it. I like reading them physically. So
fair enough. So I guess besides, I think this is what we were going with Sarah J. Maas. Besides Sarah J. Maas, because we love her, what would be some romantasies you would recommend?
Well, I already said Servant of the Wings at Night. I love that one. I loved Danielle Jensen, The Bridge Kingdom. Those were so good. And I did really like A Heart of Blood and Ash. Yes, by Milla Vane. Did she come out with her third one?
I don't think so. It was supposed to come out on the 28th, but I don't think that actually came out.
Because it was pushed back like 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never read the second one of that, though. I do want to read it. I think you did.
The first one, A Heart of Blood and Ashes, is one of my all-time favorite romantasy books.
Yeah. Didn't you read it like when you first started YouTube? Yep. I feel like that was one of the early ones you read. Yeah. I don't read a lot of romantasy and it makes me sad because there's so much on my TBR. Well, yeah, I mean, like I end up reading just the super hyped ones because I'm like, what is everybody talking about? So,
yeah,
I feel like I never have like good recommendations for people because they're like, yeah, we know.
Have you read Radiance by Grace Draven?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I know everybody loves it. It was just too like sweet of a romance for me.
So Christy was in my reading Sprinster on Patreon the other day and we were talking, was it 2 days ago or something like that? And I was like, oh, we should do a read along because not many people have read that duet. So maybe next year I'll read that for like Pharaoh Feb
or
something.
You wanted me to join?
Well, I didn't know if you read it or not, but.
I never read book 2.
Oh, okay. I loved it because it was actually a friends to lovers fantasy romance and we never see that.
I did read her Beauty and the Beast retelling where
and Treat Me.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
Yeah, that was
because she fell for the dad.
And he's all scarred.
Yeah, that one was really good. I also listen to that on audio. I normally don't like listening also to fantasy on audio because I get confused very easily, especially if there's like multiple characters. Well, there's usually a lot of characters in fantasy, so I like to physically read because then I like force myself to slow down and I remember it better.
Yeah. Hi, Miko. Hi, Miko Pico de Gallo. It's a baby.
He heard my voice. I'm just kidding. You're using headphones.
Yeah,
Miko loves me. He spent all day with me.
Another one. So a couple of the fantasy romances I read this year that like I wish were better. This sounds bad. They're like I would recommend them, but like I don't know. Like they were just okay. Is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden.
My sister liked it and she said I would like it because of Outlander.
I don't really remember it, but I remember giving it 3.5 stars.
I have that. It got picked up.
Yeah.
It's like behind me somewhere. Oh, you know what I liked? Sorry, you can finish.
I was just going to say that was one that like, not my all-time fave, but I would recommend. Like for a debut fantasy, it was good.
Well, and so I'm surprised because didn't Jess Wise Cup also get picked up?
Oh, I don't know.
There are a ton of romantasy books being picked up by the publishers and like taken off and then so like Powerless was impossible to get for like 2 months because it was taken off of like Kindle and indie stores and then given a release date that I think it came out the same day as Iron Flame, which I feel bad for anybody who had a release date same as Iron Flame.
Yeah.
This is Why Choose, but this is Beauty and the Beast as well. And it's Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. They're actually sisters, and the third book comes out in December.
So it's two sisters with other people?
No, the authors. It's Elizabeth and Helen. They write together. No. So she has like a horrible boyfriend, and her dad thinks that the mom was like taken by fairies, so he keeps on trying to like find her, and then he like stumbles into the castle, and there's the 4 princes of each world, I guess, or kingdom, and like the 4 seasons, and they are all cursed, and they turn into beasts at night. And they need to find like their one true love, and it's going to be her. It's going to be like all of them plus someone else, because TikTok spoiled it for me, because that's how they marketed their book with something that doesn't happen until the second book.
Interesting.
So
that reminds me of the Bonds That Tie series. A lot of people love that Romantasy Why Choose. I mean, we DNF'd it, but
which I feel I'm like, so many people absolutely love it, and I just didn't love it, and I'm sad.
I feel like I missed something. Like I didn't.
I also tried the audios because we were doing the read along. I don't know if it's maybe the audiobooks that didn't work for me, but
I think I tried the audios too.
Maybe it was the audio fault. I don't know.
There is the other book by J. Bree, A Crown of Oaths and something.
Yes.
Rachel from Raven-Haired Reader. She loved that one.
I read the 2, I read 1.5 novellas. The first one was really good for it, because you're supposed to read the novellas before the book. And she's a witch, and someone like comes and takes out her entire like village, except for her and her brother. And so then they're traveling. And she can talk to someone in her mind, and it's the hero. And they've been able to do that for a long time. And then you figure out like who he is, and you're like, oh my God. And so then book 2, the second novella though, was like so boring, and I didn't even finish it. And then it's going to go into the main book.
Okay, that sounds really good.
Yeah, the novellas were really good, and they had me, and of course they were novellas. So I was like, sure, I can read 100 pages like before I get into a fantasy. So
yeah.
I'm
trying to think of what else.
But that one's super long. I have the paperback somewhere.
Yeah, it is very thick. Heavenly Bodies by Amani Iru. I liked that one. It was very like, it was like not Greek mythology. It was mythology mixed with like fantasy elements. And that was just something different in a fantasy I haven't read. So I really like that one.
There's also, is Harper L. Woods
Adeline Forrest.
Yes.
Yep. The same author.
Yes. And she wrote The Coven.
I didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't? I didn't know if you had read it or not, but I didn't know that was the same author. So.
Adeline Forrest writes more like mafia.
Yes. Dark romance.
Yeah. Darker romance. And then Harper L. Woods is
fantasy.
I was trying to think of the word.
And I mean, like, there's a lot out there that I need to read and that my sister's read and she's loved. Carissa Broadbent's backlist, I definitely want to check out. Have you read more of her backlist?
Tried the first book, Daughter of No Worlds? The first book in that series. And it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, so like I didn't want to continue. You can definitely tell her writing has grown, like from that series to the Crowns of Nyaxia. But I did read the vampire one, the Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, and I really like that one.
That's the one that's on the Goodreads Choice Awards.
Yeah, she has 2. She has...
Oh, does she? Oh, yeah, the second Crowns of Nyaxia one.
And that one. But I would have voted Slaying the Vampire Conqueror between the two. I like that one more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a one I bought when I visited you at some point. I got it at Barnes & Noble. And I don't remember what it's called and I don't remember the author. But you bought one by her too. It was something about like the Elf King.
Oh,
do you remember? I figured you would remember what I was over by.
Yeah. Hang on. Was it Elise Kova?
Yes, Elise Kova. I was like, I was thinking Eva for some reason. I was like, it's not, because Eva Chase is a Why Choose paranormal fantasy author. Jamin Eve has a dragon romance that I really, really want to read. She co-wrote with Tate James for her Poison Roses series, but she has a dragon shifter romance that looks really good. And I want to read.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's like a whole indie romance world out there that I have only scratched the surface of.
Because I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface with like traditionally published romantasies.
Yeah.
Because there's so many out there that I'm like, now I want to read all those and then go to indie. I don't know. Maybe I'll mix them up.
Yeah, my sister reads a lot from my KU Romantasy.
Yeah. I should just When I see you tomorrow, I'll ask her this weekend and be like, tell me the ones I need to read.
Yeah. Because usually when I like tell her about one, she's like, yeah, I read it. And I'm like, I don't know where you're finding all of these romances.
Did she read Divine Rivals or no?
No.
The Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. I read the first 2 in that trilogy and it was okay.
I did not like the first one. Divine Rivals has a 4.26 average rating. Give it 2 stars.
I know, but I think that was one of your like one-off ones that you're like expected something completely different.
I mean, because people were obsessed with it and they were like, if you loved Fourth Wing, read this book. And I was like, this is literally the opposite of Fourth Wing. Like the literal opposite.
Yeah.
Though the ending actually was good.
That's why I don't like always hop on the hyped stuff immediately.
You know what I want to read that we were trying to look for when I was visiting you?
What?
One Dark Window.
What is that?
Rachel Gillig.
Oh, yeah. I put those paperbacks on my wish list.
Me too, because your Barnes & Noble did not have them. Mine had both of them on the buy one, get one half off table. I should have gotten them when I saw them.
Yeah. I heard that the first one is really good, but the second one was okay.
Okay. There's like gold foiling on the covers, and it was really pretty.
I think I have a hold for the audio for the first one.
Did you ever read the Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa?
I didn't reread it once it was released, but I have. Oh, no, I didn't like that series. I lied.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
I like the first one.
Okay, The Bargainer with the Wings. Yes.
Rhapsodic.
I loved that trilogy.
Okay, I was like, you didn't like it.
No, I loved that trilogy, but
yeah,
her other stuff, which is like Pestilence, I didn't like that one.
Oh, I did like those. Well, I only read 1.5 when they were coming out, and then I never finished. But also, I do like A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher, and that had like a resurgence once it got those new covers.
Yeah, I haven't read that one yet.
It's really good. Yeah. I never finished the series, but it was really good. The first one.
How many?
Sarah,
I don't think.
Is there a Romantasy series that I finished?
I don't think there is.
I'm caught up on A Court of Thorns and Roses, thank you very much, and Crescent City. I never finished the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy, though I really liked it. I read 2 of them.
Oh, that's the one I never read that one. I think I started.
It was really
and I was
good.
Like, I don't like this.
Have I not finished like any of these series?
I'm convinced you haven't.
You know what series I loved was the City of Bones series by Cassandra Clare. Did you ever read those?
Yes, but I don't know where I stopped in that series.
Okay, I don't think I finished after she like started releasing like a million more books in the series. I read the original 4.
Yeah.
I think because it was supposed to be a trilogy and then she did more. But the Clockwork, the Infernal Devices trilogy, so good. Did you read those?
I don't remember.
It's a love triangle.
I don't know. Like, I honestly cannot remember what I read and what I didn't read.
Before YouTube.
Like, before Goodreads. Like, that was when I was in, like, high school and college. Like, I know I read some of them.
I have had a Goodreads since 2011.
Okay. Well, not everyone is like you, okay?
Okay. Zodiac Academy.
Oh, loved that. That was fun.
I gave that first book 2 stars.
That was fun. That's a fun series. I have a whole vlog on that, but I'm not caught up with that series, though.
No, thank you.
I do love Chloe Gong's stuff, but that's more like historical fiction with fantasy.
Yeah. And YA.
Yeah.
It is interesting, though, some authors writing adult fantasy for the first time. So, like, Carrie Maniscalco's new one is an adult fantasy.
And that's the only reason I'm giving her another try, because I did not like Kingdom of the Wicked.
I did not either. That was a bit ridiculous. And I remember being annoyed the whole time.
It was awful. It was so cliche. It was so stupid.
But Cassandra Clare is writing her first. Well, she did. She came out with it, her first fantasy. Adult.
I was going to say, wait, what? Is it the red cover one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister bought it. Because she loved when we were in high school, we like literally when City of Glass came out, book 3, we went to Barnes & Noble with our friend and bought it when they opened and went home and read it all day. That's what I did in high school.
That sounds fun.
You liked the Scarlett St. Clair series.
Yes, at the beginning, but now I feel like it's just too much. Yeah.
I was not a fan.
Too much now.
We read Little Fire. Did you read Little Fire by Holly Renee? Not Holly Renee. Holly Mans?
No.
I liked it. I think I read it though when there was only one book out, or just when book 2 came out, so I didn't finish. But I think it was a book club pick I did with Lacey. And I really like that. There's so many.
I'm excited to see now, though, like, well, I'm kind of worried, but like if the romantasy category is going to be like become oversaturated.
Okay, but like what's annoying is the fact that there were 3 Jennifer Armentrout books on that list.
Yes.
There were no other ones.
Even I was annoyed, and I love her, and I love her books.
She was annoyed. She was like, why am I on there 3 times? Like, that was not necessary. And like they definitely, obviously, in every category, they needed more diversity. And she was like literally, you could have picked anyone else but 3 of my books. And 2 of hers are in the top 10.
Oh, I haven't even looked at like what made it.
Yeah, which is annoying.
That's very annoying.
Tori brought up, should we talk about the idea of fast fashion for fantasy? But I was like, with indie romances, this quick turnaround of publishing has always been around.
Yeah.
JLA had 3 new releases this year. Jennifer Armentrout. That's how she always writes. Like since she started writing, I think she has always had 3 releases a year. And people are looking at Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. They're like, that was too fast. But publishing has always done this, especially in the indie romance sphere. And so it's not a new thing like all these people are talking about. I know people have issues with Jennifer Armentrout's writing and like they say that her books need more editing. And I've seen some pointed out where I'm like, okay, yeah, like that paragraph, sure, that was like redundant and could have been cut out. But her books are so good still. And I really like them. She's writing 3 books a year and you're all mad that Rebecca Yarros wrote 1 in 6 months. But then we have Sarah J. Maas who takes like 2 years to write a book. And we are patiently waiting.
I think for Crescent City 2, she said that she completely scrapped that book and completely rewrote it.
She did, which is a lot. But
like I don't know what it is about her writing that I love so much though. I don't know.
It's the romance that makes it for me, for her. The romance
for her
is so
ACOTAR
good.
Series, yes, but I don't Crescent
Oh my
City,
God, Hunt. I'm obsessed with Hunt.
Listen.
I know everybody likes what's his name.
Rune Dannon.
Yeah, Rune. I was like, I can't even remember his name.
I love him.
And like, don't people talk about Rowan from Throne of Glass? I don't even know who he is, and I know his name. And do
not fucking come for my Rowan. Do not come for him. He is my baby. I love him. 2 of her series in a row, you start to like a specific hero, and then she's like, no, that's not going to be who she ends up with. And you're like, so at least I'm aware of that going into Throne of Glass. I read ACOTAR when there were only 2 books out. So when I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I was like, Tamlin is so amazing. And I was like, who is this weird guy like stalking her and like kidnapping her? A little did I know. A little, but no.
If she does that in Crescent City, I'm going to riot because Hunt is my favorite.
No, she said that they're mates. Like they're together.
Yeah, you can have a mate and they can die.
I mean, they can. But part of me is like, okay.
No.
Oh my God, I almost said something that was a huge spoiler. But like, I don't know. Part of me is like, I mean, it is what it is. I'm so used to it.
I'm very intrigued to see what she's going to do after the ending of book 2. Like what is going to happen.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited. And that's why, fine, I need to read the Throne of Glass series, and it's very annoying.
You missed out a lot. Like when I tell you I want to tattoo to whatever end on my body, it's from the Throne of Glass series. I
know, but like, so I'm going to be obsessed with the romance.
Heir of Fire, which is book 3, where you meet Rowan. I'll tell you that. It's not a spoiler. That's one of my favorite books in the series, hands down.
Can you tell me where I'm supposed to read Assassin's Blade?
I read Assassin's Blade at the end, but I think it's after book 2 or 3.
Some people say to read it first.
No, don't read it first.
Okay. Read it where it's supposed to go in the middle of the series?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I read it at the end of the series. You don't really miss anything.
But it's like her romance with Sam?
Yeah. But it's like so small and like, I don't know. I think it's like meaningless because he is not with her.
There are like very strong opinions about where you're supposed to read this book. And so that's another reason why I've been putting it off. I was like, do I pick up Assassin's Blade right now? Or do I wait until I'm 3 books in and then pick, or 2 books in? I don't even know. I see different TikToks every day.
If you read the series, you have to tandem read Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn. Because if you don't, you will DNF Tower of Dawn, because I did not like that book.
But that's Kale's book.
I do not like Kale.
I loved Kale in the first one, at least. I liked him over Dorian. Is Dorian his name?
Oh, I love Dorian. Don't talk about Dorian. I have strong feelings about the characters in the Throne of Glass series. Like I have. Were we
even friends before when you were reading this series?
No, it was one of my first vlogs.
I'm literally going to read it next month. I'm reading it in December.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
You're going to dedicate like just a whole week?
Yes.
In vlogging it?
Yep.
That's still one of my most like overperforming vlogs.
Oh, really? So, okay. Normally when you do like specific vlogs like that, they don't do well.
Over time, it's done well. I did part 1 and part 2. So I did the first 4 books in the series and then the last 3.
Ugh. Okay.
Because it was the first 4 books are shorter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would read them. I'll read them again with you maybe.
Really?
Or I'll not like from start to finish, but I'll reread my favorite parts. Like Airfire.
Okay.
Okay. You all heard it here. You heard it here.
Oh my God. And then we'll do a podcast episode talking all about the Throne of Glass series.
I would die. I love the Throne of Glass series.
We'll do a bonus one.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. I mean, our Iron Flame one was fun because like it was super fresh in my mind and we had a lot to say. So
yeah.
I know at the beginning we were like, we're not going to deep dive into books. Like we can't do that. But we just like complained the whole time.
No. I can't deep dive like critically. I can have about like 3 minutes of like critical talks about a book. After that, I'm just like, this was fucking awesome or this was fucking shit.
That's all I got to say.
That's all I got to say. That's it. That's all I got. I don't know what it is. Every time Romantasy is brought up, we end it with Sarah J. Maas. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to, what live show I'm on. You
cannot talk about Romantasy without like what was Romantasy before Sarah J. Maas?
Maybe Cassandra Clare, Twilight, maybe.
Twilight's paranormal. That doesn't count. Well, and I guess like Tahara Mafi, the Shatter Me series. I don't remember when that was coming out, and like I loved that. Like the romance in there. You should read it.
Did you
think
finish
you would like it? Yeah, but then she like extended it. So it was originally, I think, a trilogy. And then she wrote 3 more. So like their story was supposed to end. And I was caught up. And then she's like, oh, just kidding. We're going to like keep on writing. And I was like,
remind me to get that at Half Price Books when I come visit you then.
Yeah, they should have it.
Yeah, I'll get it and try it. Thank you so much for watching this episode. It was fun to talk about Romantasy. If you have any Romantasy recommendations for us, drop them in the comments. If you're on Apple or Spotify, leave us a rating. Tell us what you thought of the podcast. What is the emoji, Jess?
A sword.
A sword emoji. And
do they have a sword?
I don't know if there's a sword. If there's no sword, do the arrow emoji. I do know there's an arrow. So.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We hope you enjoyed our bookish life, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Our bookish life.
I had to.
God.
Every time.